People are going to wake up, and people are learning the difference between where a man is highly clever in his manipulation, and a culture says what a brilliant man he is. But is he a great leader, or is he a man who's learned to manipulate incredibly well? Can someone be a great leader, but that has not been a part of our cultural expectations? A part of our cultural expectations is to become a highly clever, manipulative leader. We have applauded it, we have celebrated. It has gone all the way down to the beginning of time, where these great kings and lords have outmaneuvered each other, and we have applauded a way of life that really karmically is unacceptable. From Alexander the Great to even the royal families of this world, how do we outmove each person? How do we burn down villages? How do we keep our own religion and not someone else's religion? How do we overpower? We have applauded the wars, the cleverness, the manipulations of religions and cultures. This ultimately is going to be shook dramatically over the next century. Most of all, over the next 6 years, there is going to be a tremendous movement, as it has already started, particularly with Barack Obama. Can you be a woman or a man of great leadership, but not buy into the cleverness of those before you? Can you bite through the manipulation, through the darkness, through the narcissism, through the cleverness, through the manipulation, through the anxiety, the fear, the insecurity, the doubts that has been bestowed upon you by these clever organizations and mothers with sharp tongues that have left their daughters feeling deeply insecure as they became serpents of power that left their children almost dismantled within their emotions. We applauded mothers that had control over their children, that could castrate their boys to submission. Mothers of great narcissism that would leave their children, their daughters, being afraid to be great women. Can we as a culture wake up and be a man or a woman that is a leader and not be afraid to speak the truth and know who we are and where are we going? You are the future. You are no longer living in the darkness of your castration, your fear or limitation. You are beginning to listen to your soul. You are awakening to what the vibrations and cycles and the communication of your soul. You lie in bed sensing that there is something trembling within your body because your soul is saying, wake up, pay attention. You are sensing when something doesn't feel right any longer, but you don't have the language because you need to ask. Am I going in the right direction with my job? Am I going in the right direction in my home, in my life, in my marriage? What needs to change? Show me. Let me feel it through my senses. Speak to me, O Lord. It means speak, let the soul communicate. We have had the communication with our mind for centuries. We are returning to our original design, where one did not just communicate with the mind, one communicated with the soul. It was the soul that spoke, not the mind and its endless peptides. It wasn't our addictions and our fears that guided our future. It was our soul that danced in silence. We knew the dance of the soul. We knew its language. You are now learning to listen to the language of the soul for the first time, as you have not listened to the soul, nor its dance or its spoken word. The world is changing. Mind you, the world is changing more greatly than you can imagine. It isn't just the floods that are going to happen, or the earthquakes in which we'll partake. It will be, where do I need to be? What is my soul telling me where I need to be? We can all deal with the consequences of life. But if we're not where we're meant to be or what we're meant to do, then we feel lost. When we do not know what our soul is guiding us to do, then we are lost. We can deal with a house that burns down as long as it is our destiny to rebuild that home or to be in this location. If it is our destiny to travel the outskirts and the mountains and learn about new product or develop new product, then you are listening to the soul. If your soul says it makes no sense, but I'm going to pack up and I'm going to move to a different country and that's my goal in the next 6 years, then you are listening to your soul. If that means you're needing to get further education because your soul is saying this job isn't going to give you the nurturing you need. We forgot to buy new washing machines. It no longer does the laundry. We've not been listening. The laundry isn't becoming clean. We have not listened to ourselves. The waters have become muddy. And now it is time, and people are beginning to get it. Where the wash was crisp and clear and white, now we're beginning to see the gray that we never saw before. We're beginning to become aware of the fine attunements that we're needing to make to live in harmony. We can deal with a job that comes to an end as long as we are in touch with our soul and we are living the right life. We can deal with the end of a relationship as long as we are right within our soul. We can overcome anything and everything. But if we are continuously living in anxiety and fear, then we have forgotten to listen to the soul. And our laundry of goods have become gray. It is no longer white or crisp. It is not because the world is going to flood, but the crisis in this world is going to become real. The crisis in this world, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to gasoline, when it comes to water, when it comes to many things, consider it real. This is not fake, this is real. The world needs to come up very quickly with renewable energies in order for all of you to sustain and to maintain flushing your toilets. You are no longer self-efficient. You no longer grow your own food. You've become completely dependent on a culture and a government that has raped your sources, all of your resources. So why is it that I'm saying this to you? Is it because I'm frightening you? Or is it because if we are attuned, if we are listening to our soul, we can overcome anything? Will the governments find new renewable energy? Indeed, they will. But many people are going to feel more fearful, more frightened. As there is a quantum leap in our culture, those that have felt quite confident and have been applauded for their mischievousness, they've been applauded for their reptilian behavior. These reptiles that have been flapping their tails, and everyone else has been marching as they've been banging their tails onto the ground, is coming to an end. There's a shift, one could say, in the government, not just within the physical government, as Barack Obama has come into a shift within ourselves. We can no longer speak passive-aggressively. We can no longer be disappointed that we're not communicating with our children. We can no longer just say, this job dissatisfies me. We are needing to wake up to where we fit.